Sam C. Okay. Short stories on a little scooter. Boy, oh boy, what do we got going on? The Island of Dr. Moreau, Part 4. Oh, I remember where we left this thing off. He was just, Edward, the guy's name. We finally found out the guy's name. Oh, you want to talk about where we're doing? I think we just rolling around the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, and I think we do check out a couple of little boondocky spots, and we have a little mix of pavement and not pavement, and rain and not rain, and just, everything that you ever wanted to experience in a little scooter ride while listening to a story. We got it here for you today, my friends. All right, here we go. Okay, well, hang on now. Let me catch us up again. The guy, he was kind of coming to and kind of understanding that, okay, he was shipwrecked and blah, 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 and he was kind of coming to, and he was kind of waiting for somebody to cook him some mutton, and that's where we was at anyway, and there was something going on in the cabin next door. He was still kind of confused as to what's going on, but here we go. So the guy's gonna go and check to see what's happening with that cook, what's he's doing with that mutton he's supposed to be cooking. The growling overhead was renewed so suddenly and with so much savage anger that it startled me. What's that? I called after him, but the door had closed. He came back again with the boiled mutton, and I was so excited by the appetizing smell of it that I forgot the noise of the beast forthwith. After a day of alternate sleep and feeding, I was so far recovered as to be able to get from my bunk to the scuttle and see the green seas trying to keep pace with us. No. Yeah. I'll take a little look here. Oh boy, that is just such a nice little ride. That little scooty, that Honda ADV150, is just a fantastic job. Another 100 cc's would sure be a nice thing, guys. Or maybe you could throw an e-boost on there or something. Don't need it very often. Just, going up the hills. I could lose some weight, I suppose. All right, here we go to keep pace with us. I judged the schooner was running before the wind. Montgomery, that was the name of the flaxen-haired man, came in again as I stood there, and I asked him for some clothes. He lent me some duck things of his own, for those I had worn in the boat, he said, had been thrown overboard. They were rather loose for me, for he was large and long in the limbs. He told me casually that the captain was 3 parts drunk in his own cabin. As I assumed the clothes, I began asking him some questions. Hang on a second. Let me peel that back and try that one again. Here we go. As I assumed the clothes, I began asking him some questions about the destination of the ship. He said the ship was bound to Hawaii, but that it had to land him first. Where? I said. It's an island where I live. So far as I know, it hasn't got a name. He stared at me. Oh, okay, I see where we're at on this little scooty trip here. Let's just take a peekaboo. We're going to dip into this forest road area. I always see this area here, and it's like, seems to be one of the most premier spots. There's always a a couple of campers up in here. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and check it out and just see exactly what rig can and cannot do this one. See, I said, oh, okay, yeah, Ronnie's out already. That dip there would have fixed that. Oh, yep, okay, Dora's out. All right, so scooter and a tent, and not gonna do that. So it's it's a great little spot. We had a fifth wheel, toy hauler fifth wheel, with a dually 4-wheel drive. That would have done it, no problem. And that was the problem with that rig, is we started to go just where we probably shouldn't be taking it. And yeah, you can see here it gets pretty roughed up. Yeah, even little Scooty starts to think about not having much fun here. Not a lot of suspension travel on little Scooty, and anytime you're hitting these roads and these big old rocks and stuff, if you're going to spend much time on it, you really should drop that air pressure a bit. Oh yeah, there's a couple of nice little spots up in here. Definitely a couple of nice spots for the right type of rig and that kind of thing. So okay, we'll zip back down to the highway here and get rained on probably. All right, so let's get back to this story. So now we're starting to find out that this guy has to be dropped off on an island with no name. And I went to an island with no name. He stared at me with his nether lip dropping and looked so willfully stupid of a sudden that it came into my head that he desired to avoid my questions. I am ready, I said. He led the way out of the cabin. Whew. Chapter 3. The Strange Face. Oh, this would be the one he thought he imagined while he was half in and half out of consciousness there. So here we go. At the companion was a man obstructing our way. Oh. Yeah, we're going to get wet. But this is a nice little view here, and oh boy, yeah, here. So here, let's talk about that. What are we, 9,000 feet, 50 mile an hour, something like that. So I can see back here, there's a big old Dodge pickup truck starting to hound me down there. So I figure, you know what? I'll just dust him a little bit and give myself some space, because I got a couple of steep hills coming, and I'll be down to 30 mile an hour soon enough, and he'll be right on me. So I thought I'd give myself a little space, and then I got even more of a reprieve because it started to rain, and the little bit of rain there doesn't bother the Scooty too much, but it generally slows cars down if they got half a brain at least. So yeah, woof, here we go. Let's take a look at this little bendy Scooty ride. That suspension working? Okay, let's now. Oh yeah, we got on chapter 3. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this now. Oh yeah, we're going to be all right. There's a man obstructing our way. He was standing on the ladder with his back to us, peering over the combing of the hatchway. He was, I could see, a misshapen man, short, broad, and clumsy, with a crooked back, a hairy neck, and a head sunk between his shoulders. He was dressed in dark blue serge and had peculiarly thick, coarse, black hair. Oh, I think it might be Mr. Cobblepot. I heard the unseen dogs growl furiously, and forthwith he ducked back, coming into contact with the hand I put out to fend him off from myself. He turned with animal swiftness. The black face thus flashed upon me startled me profoundly. It was singularly deformed. The facial part projected, forming something dimly suggestive of a muzzle, and the huge, half-open mouth showed as big white teeth as I have ever seen in a human mouth. His eyes were bloodshot at the edges, with scarcely a rim of white round the hazel pupils. There was a curious glow of excitement in his face. "Confound you," said Montgomery. "Why the devil don't you get out of the way?" The black-faced man started aside without a word. I went up the companion, still staring at him, almost against my will as I did so. Montgomery stayed at the foot for a moment. "You have no business here. You know," he said in a deliberate tone. "Your place is forward." The black-faced man cowered. "They won't have me forward." He spoke slowly, with a hoarse quality in his voice. "Won't have you forward?" said Montgomery in a menacing voice. "But I tell you to go." He was on the brink of saying something further when looked up at me suddenly and followed me up the ladder. I had paused halfway through the hatchway, looking back, still astonished beyond measure at the grotesque ugliness of this black-faced creature. I had never beheld such a repulsive and extraordinary face before, and yet, if the contradiction is credible, I experienced at the same time an odd feeling that in some way I had already encountered exactly the features and gestures that now amazed me. Afterwards, it occurred to me that probably I had seen him as I was lifted aboard, and yet that scarcely satisfied my suspicion of a previous acquaintance. Yet how one could have set eyes on a singular face and yet have forgotten the precise occasion passed my imagination. Let me take another look at this little scooty ride here. Oh yeah, we hammer down now. See, he's catching me. And yeah, the rain let up a little bit, so I can hear that Cummins growling already. Little Scooty is wringing her neck right now. "Come on, let's go, let's go." But yeah, no, we do just fine. He's not aggressive or nothing like that. And I end up just pulling off into a little trail here anyway, so I can. Actually, I think I was probably reloading a camera or something. You know, what else would a guy be doing on a little scooter in the rain? Okay, let's try to get a little bit more of this story going. I think I'm just gonna goof around here at this trailhead. I'll probably go take a few pictures and stuff, and then I'll get back on it and we'll get a little bit more wet, but we'll go front view and go big. All right. The forgotten a precise occasion passed my imagination. Montgomery's movement to follow me released my attention, and as I turned and looked about me at the flush deck of the little schooner, I was already half prepared by the sounds I heard for what I saw. Certainly I never beheld a deck so dirty. It was littered with scraps of carrots, shreds of green stuff, and indescribable filth. Fastened by chains to the main mast were a number of grizzly staghounds, who now began leaping and barking at me. And by the mizzen, a huge puma was cramped in a little iron cage, far too small even to give it turning room. Farther under the starboard bulwark were some big hutches, containing a number of rabbits and a solitary llama, was squeezed into a mere box of a cage forward. The dogs were muzzled by leather straps. The only human being on deck was a gaunt and silent sailor at the wheel. The patched and dirty spankers were tense before the wind, and up aloft the little ship seemed carrying every sail she had. The sky was clear, the sun midway down the western sky, long waves, capped by the breeze with froth, were running with us. We went past the steersman to the taffrail and stared side by side for a space of water foaming under the stern and bubbles dancing and vanishing in her wake. I turned and surveyed the unsavory length of the ship. Is this an ocean menagerie? Said I. Looks like it, said Montgomery. What are these beasts for? Merchandise? Curios? Does the captain think he is going to sell them somewhere in the South Seas? Let's take another look at this little scooty ride here. Oh yeah, we whipping along here. Yeah, this summertime, there's that Baldy trailhead. This summertime up at this elevation here is, you just got to be prepared. It's going to rain, or you hope at least. I mean, you can roll up here from the valley where it's 100 and Beelzebub's butt hot, and it's so nice. I think I can store it up, maybe store up some of the cold, and now that way I'll be good when I get back in there. Okay, I kind of lost. Okay, summer. Oh, right. He's gonna. What the heck's he doing with all these animals? Is he gonna try and sell them or what? Okay. Well, we're almost at a pretty good spot here where we could stop. Let me mark it down, or I'll never find it again. And boy, I tell you, the Tourette's goes wild when I can't find my spot. Okay, let me take one more look at this little scooter right here. Oh yeah, I think we're just gonna end it abruptly, like we do. We're probably trying to make it back to win by the looks of it. Thank you so much for coming along, and we'll see you next time. We'll try to find just a little bit of Rosie. See, because everybody needs just a little bit of Rosie. All right then, you go, big girl. Oh, yeah, you go, big girl. Do your thing now. I did mine. You do yours.